Okay. You may have to approve that.
Mhm.
Not sure. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you folks, and good morning to my very, very special guests. And people know I'm a bit obsessive about these things, so I always want to introduce ladies first. So,
Oh,
Jenny, you're cool with
Of
that.
course.
Jenny, introduce yourself, please.
hi, I'm Jenny Hemphill. I am the supervisor here at the Springfield Library location, located in beautiful New Middletown.
And it is beautiful.
It is
Yes.
beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It's one of those things that I get to work where I live. So
No,
it
that's
makes
so
it
cool.
special.
Miss Jenny, once again, tell me, as far as like just even throwback again, the Tiger's Table
Mhm,
has been there forever.
Forever.
mhm.
And
Jeff,
it's still
excuse
a
me.
great restaurant. And then once again, I know New Middletown because there's the Tiger's Table, right?
Mhm.
Jeff,
Yes.
excuse me. I remember going to the Tiger's Table with my parents. I'm 70 years old. So, like forever. I mean, do you know how many years Tiger's Table has been there, Jenny?
No, I don't. I'm originally from Boardman, so then I moved to Columbus for a while because I taught at the deaf school down in Columbus at the Ohio School for the Deaf. And then I moved back here with my family. And we were lucky enough to find a house out here in New Middletown. And we just love it. My kids go here, the schools and things like that. So I'm pretty well versed in the community, I guess. And so, yeah, Tiger's Table has been a staple
Ever.
here forever.
Ever.
So, yeah, and it's under new ownership now too. And they're wonderful. They co-own, there's like 3 couples, I think, who own it. And in fact, we were just there the other night for dinner. So
It's wonderful. Been there forever.
Okay. So what am I, if I'm going there, what are you recommending to have?
either the baked, the baked, now you're gonna make me hungry, Jeff.
Uh,
The baked Italian sub is
after
really
this
good.
meeting, we should meet up at the Tiger's Table.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
No, the baked Italian sub or their Philly cheesesteak sandwich is really good.
There you
So
go. And my friend Jeff Mamula. I love my library.
Mr. Louis
people
B.
too.
Free.
I
How are
love
you,
that
bud?
shirt. That's a new library shirt, isn't it? New design.
That is not a new library shirt. Do you have one of these though, Louis?
I do not.
You
I'm
do
sorry.
not. Let me see if I can work on getting.
Don't worry about it. I've got my collection. That's not a new design for the shirt.
No,
I know the logo is okay.
Oh, this is a throwback. When Main Library reopened after its renovation, these were T-shirts for that purpose. It has a nice, cool. I won't turn my back on my audience, but it has a cool main library silhouette on the background. I'll get you one, Louis.
I would. I would. Jeff, you know me in my library.
No, once again, Louis, as long as I've known Louis, he is the walking billboard sandwich board for the library. You're awesome, Louis.
Jeff, it's funny because I'll say I'm incognito if I'm not wearing, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I was been wearing off and on my Fight Like a Girl t-shirt. And I had somebody say to me recently, I almost didn't recognize you because I thought it was you. Then I looked for the library t-shirt and it wasn't a library t-shirt. So I wasn't sure.
Now, Louis, you bring up a good point. And once again, you've been like doing radio for how long?
Oh, I think about 20, almost almost a quarter of a century.
No, the reason I asked that, though, once again, you have celebrities and what have you like that. But it's like those in the radio industry, you just associate the voice, not as much as the visual. And again, that, there's all those, I always hear from my friends at like FMJ or KBN or something on television. They get spotted in, the grocery store. That's that lady on TV. But again, if they don't know you as far as radio is concerned, they just got to go by the voice.
Jeff, a real quick story. When I first started radio, new, and people would say, what do you look like? Again, this was pure radio, so no social media and all that. And I would describe myself as 6'4", 240 pounds of solid steel with arms and legs like pistons. So, and that was my line. I'm 6'4", 240 pounds. And at the time, I'm shrinking because I'm 70, but I was probably maybe 5'7", maybe 5'7.5", maybe 100, whatever. I certainly wasn't 6'4", 200. And I was in a grocer and getting a bag for helping a lady next to me. And she said, "Your voice sounds familiar." And I said, "Do you listen to radio?" "Yeah." I said, "I'm Louis Freed. Nice to meet." She said, oh, she was indignant. She said, "Oh, no, you're not." She said, "I'm not going to." She said, "If he finds out that a little punk like you is going around and she just wouldn't hear me on she said, "A little punk like you is going to kick you." Okay,
Nice.
so, but that was pure radio back then. I'm sorry, I went way off. Go ahead, Jeff. Save me.
Yeah, our normal conversations, Jenny, as you might tell, that once again, Louis and I, and then it's such a fun time to do the show all the time because we kind of just go off on tangents sometimes.
Yes, we do. Jenny, yes,
I got to reel Louis back in, or he's got to reel me in.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. You're right. We're always reeling in the years.
I'm so used to that. I'm used to it. I mean,
again, Mr. Louis, Miss Jenny, and once again, I'm pats on the back big time. But as far as the who's who of knowing what's going on in New Middletown or Springfield Township, Miss Jenny is your connection.
You are the one.
That she is
apparently.
She is the lifeline for the community.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
Oh, you do wonderful, Miss Jenny.
I'm trying.
Can you? I know you've told us before, but a little bit of your path to the library for you. How did you?
How did I get here?
Yes.
Well, as I said, yeah, as I said, I was a teacher at the Ohio School for the Deaf for over 10.5 years. Had my family and was looking for a way to move back. So we moved back, and I always loved reading, right? I was such a book nerd. And so I thought, well, how can I reach more kids given my education background? And plus I was already going back for my master's degree for MLIS anyways. So I thought, let me interview with the library. So I interviewed and thankfully was able to join POIMC back in 2014. I started off working at the Newport location and traveled all around to all the different locations within our unit. And then of course, COVID hit, right? So one of our lovely assistant supervisors for the Boardman location was retiring. So I thought, let me go for an assistant supervisor position. And I was awarded that position. But I was supposed to be stationed here in the New Middletown at the Springfield location, supervising this location and Boardman at the same time. Well, then we had so that's kind of where and then it's just, I became the supervisor when we went to just branches, and I am so grateful to be here, and I love my job, and I have a great staff, and we live in, we work in a great community, and they've been very supportive of us, and it just makes my job that much easier. I have fun with my job, so I don't know, how many people can really say that, you know what I mean? So
I do.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, you have to enjoy your job. You have to, if you don't, then it's like what, the the humdrum of everything, you know what I mean? And but it, like Jeff said, since I, and I live here, I live in this community, and I get to meet people, and I get to see the people daily. It's great because I can go to the ball fields because my son plays baseball. I can go to the field. Hey, library lady. Hey, library lady. You know what I mean? Or do you have, do you have this book, or do you have this? And I'm like, I don't know. As I'm like trying to get to my son's game, I don't know, but come see me later, or I could be going and just sitting at, the Tigers table, and I'll have, patrons coming up and saying, "Hey, how you doing, Jenny? Good. How are you?" Or going to the gas station. "Hey, how's it going?" So
that's wonderful, right?
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend recently whose daughter out of town just took a job at the library. He's concerned, hope she likes it, and told me where and what position she was in. And I told him, I said, I'm at the libraries a lot. I do a lot of work with the library, interview a lot of people. I said, everyone I speak with that works at the library loves working at the library. They're all vibrant and come on, Jeff, I mean, you of course also, but because you interact with so many, and it's just, and I said, I would be very optimistic that your daughter's gonna love it. It's like,
Oh, once again, Louis, as I said
Mm-hmm.
before, and Jenny, I'm sure will agree. And what's not to love? I mean,
yeah,
once
yeah,
again, you're
yes,
connecting people with resources they need, and they love the library. And again, that's thanks for coming out and supporting us. But every day that I repeat myself, but every branch that I go into, and if I see a little one and he's clutching a book, and his eyes are as big as saucers, and Mommy, I get to take this book home, and that makes your day. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah, I have to agree because we had just back in August, I know I'm kind of jumping the gun, but back in August out here, we celebrate National Night Out. So it's a big to do out here. There's a parade, there's vendors down at Welker Park, there's all different kinds of stuff, and then they had this big huge firework display at the end of the evening to kind of draw an end or a close to the event. And I've been going out there for the last 3 years now. 3 years I've been going out there, and it's just so great because everybody's so appreciative. Oh, we love our library. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for having these types of programs. And I know that's everywhere, but just from my own experience being out here, or like I have a child coming up to me, hey, Miss Jenny, or hey, Mrs. Hemphill, do you have this? Again, the books, do you have this? And I'm like, I don't know, come and see me, and then I get the hugs. They'll just run up to me
wow.
and they give me hugs because they're so appreciative of what I guess we're doing out here. And they make it so easy to do my job and love my job, because those are you can't get a better reward than that. You really can't. And, even my kids are like, oh my God, Mommy, we can't go anywhere. And I'm like, hey, that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the library lady.
Yes, the library
library
lady.
lady.
And
Wonderful.
it makes it so much more rewarding, that type of reward that money can't buy, kind of a thing.
Miss Jenny, remind me. I'm just a throwback. A past story, and I'm trying to remember it. It's you, but again, it's the story of the lady that came in that you helped. And that's pretty vague and
Yeah.
pretty broad. You help a lot of ladies. Oh, I'm trying to remember what lady came in. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, but it was a most heartfelt story. But
yeah, I mean, we've had several stories like that are very similar. I have, the older folks, no offense, you guys, but those in your golden years,
I
60s,
represent that comment.
that
No
let's
offense,
just say,
you guys. By the way, they're not the golden years. There was something not too earlier this year said they're
I love it, Miss Jenny. Yeah,
rusty years.
The rusty years.
The rusty years.
I've never heard the rusty years.
I hadn't heard it until. Go ahead.
But those that are having trouble with like their iPads or their iPhones, or they can't figure the lovely electronics. So not only me, but my staff as well, we try to help as many as we can. I need this, or this isn't working, or how do I do this? Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate all your help. Trying to set up their e-readers, or things like that. So there's just a multitude of stories that not only our location, but obviously all across our system have on the daily. That's why I think what we do is valuable to our communities, and just continued ways to try and get into our communities is needed, because I think we are making an impact, no matter if it's to one child, to one adult, to a whole entire school district. It just, I love my job. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
just so many
Yeah.
stories.
And you'll never know. You never know the breadth
Mhm.
of that impact. I mean,
Mhm.
because there's going to be plenty of people that aren't going to
Mhm.
say or express that are impacted by it, and you'd never know years later.
Right.
I know, older folks like Jeff and I.
In your rusty years.
You're rusty, but you remember things that people, I mean,
Mhm.
everybody does. I don't mean just you remember things.
Mhm.
I said this a lot on the show. I remember when I was a junior in high school, a history teacher, that I learned something from him that stays with me today.
Mhm.
Fortunately, I was able to tell him before he passed, years later, what an impact. But most people,
Mhm.
you don't see him again or whatever.
Mhm.
And the impact made by
Mhm.
whatever, a book you put, whatever.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Louis, because just within the last, oh my gosh, 3 months or so, I lost my favorite teacher that I ever had in my entire life. She was my first grade teacher. I became really close with her, family friend. I mean, watched me grow up, watched me go off and, do my thing and come back and, just a really, really great family friend. And we unfortunately lost her. Um, Stupidly, but she had the biggest impact on my life. And I think it's so vital. And if we here in the branches can do that to, whether it's a child or someone, we can be there for someone, then we've done what we're supposed to do. We've done our job. So
Beautiful, beautiful philosophy. Yeah, and
and I think too, just being and having these locations and some of them being a safe place and creating that safe space and place for individuals is so important. I've had actually teenagers come up to me and say, Mrs. Hemphill, we feel safe talking to you about X, Y, and Z.
wow,
So
beautiful.
that to me is like, I've done it. Like, this is what we're set out to do in our locations. And being a former educator too, that just is like, you know, and a
Yeah,
mom,
sure.
so
And to hear that, and,
mhm,
and
that
the
we are
fact is
making a
that,
difference.
yeah,
Yes, we are making a difference.
Every
So,
visit can make a difference. And as I
mhm,
told you before, Louis, again, we don't know who's going to walk in our door today.
nope.
that's right.
And we don't know what they might be going through in their
Mhm,
personal life or everything like that.
You never
But
know.
again, sometimes I run into somebody and they said, I came to the library the other day, you were smiling, and that just made me feel good. Again, to hear things like that, it melts your heart. But again, it's just,
It's
that
beautiful.
mhm,
we don't know who's coming in our door. But again,
mhm,
just
Yeah.
trying to focus on them, almost the individual
Yeah.
attention, and whatever we could do to help them out. It's
mhm, yeah.
Yeah, like you say, Jeff, you never know I believe everybody's got something going on in their life,
sure.
Mhm,
some struggle, a
yeah.
health issue, a financial issue, the dog's ill, or something, a relation, something that they're dealing with. And you're right, you never know what's under the surface. And when you can make
Mhm,
that impact, or like you say, smile, and just make someone else
mhm,
smile, they always say like random acts of kindness, a little bit. It does.
mhm,
Um, yeah, it makes a difference. Yeah,
mhm,
I was just thinking of some young guy at a store that was out collecting carts in a parking lot, and I had a couple of cases of water, and I was a little off, and I was getting him. He came over. I mean, I wasn't that off. My gait was a bit off, and he came over. He said, "Sir, may I help you with those?" I said, "Really, I'm fine." He said, "Oh, come on." And he grabbed one, and it was just so not, and he just came over. I didn't ask for help. I didn't, no, it was so, I emailed the company, by the way. I was just so blown away by that. And I'm
mhm,
sure if I asked him, he would say what most people, it wasn't a big deal. Well, it wasn't a big deal to you, but it meant the
mhm,
world to me at the time. Right?
mhm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, and that's one of the things that I love about this organization is that we're all here for one purpose, and one purpose is to help the people in our communities and connect with them on various levels and do what we can for them. And I really feel that we are making a difference, no matter how big or how small. So
Yeah. One person at a time, or groups, or whatever, on what you're doing. I do want to mention, I don't want to forget my note. I want to cry, reading to Reese. And I see that happenings, folks. You can get happenings at libraryvisit.org, right, Jeff? And
Correct.
the reading to the dogs, or you had the reading to rabbits program and things. Initially, I wasn't thoughtful about it. I didn't get it. It sounded cute to me. Don't misunderstand. It sounded, oh, that's adorable. That's adorable. And the more I understand, as if a parent is there, obviously with the child, even if you don't want to, if they mispronounce a word, or even if you don't want to say anything, or that there's going to be some body language, you're going to take a breath, you're going to clench, or make a note or something that we want to go over this later, or whatever. Reese is just there. And I love that. I just love that. Reading to Reese, you're holding up for listeners. You're holding up there. Oh, reading to Reese, reading time reminder. Oh, that's cool. Oh, the picture.
He has his own little,
sorry, listeners.
He has his own appointment card.
Oh, God. And there's an appointment open today.
Yeah, there actually is. There's one. I still have a 4:15 time slot available.
Believe me, if senior, you should have a thing for seniors to come read.
Anybody can come read with Reese. It's not just for kids. My teenagers have read with Reese.
Yeah, but you don't get 70-year-olds coming in and read.
Hey, you know what? His owner, she don't care.
Jeff,
I've been there for many of the reading to dog programs, and again, I'm sitting on the floor next to a little one, or next to anyone, and again, they're reading to and it's just delightful, but it's so calming too, and everything. And it's like, then, like you said, Louis, then there's nobody correcting you, there's nobody judging you, you're just kind of, and it's wonderful to even watch the little ones, especially, that they kind of lock in their own world in that one-on-one time with the dog, that it's so it's wonderful.
That's got to be a great experience for you, Jeff, to see that, to be able to
I always tell you, Louis, that I have the best job in the library. The reason why I have one of the best jobs in the library is, again, I take a lot of pictures of all the programs, and again, and it's amazing what I can capture through my camera lens, or what I see through my camera lens, and I get to capture those moments, and I have over 20,000-30,000 of those moments on pictures and things, and then it's just, what's not to love?
Yeah, Jeff gets all the front row seats.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah, I have some connections. I know the library ladies.
Got an end.
Once again, it's wonderful. As I go from branch to branch to branch, it's Miss Jenny, or it's Miss Amy, or it's Miss Nikki, or it's Miss, and again, what a wonderful staff we have.
Yeah,
branch to branch to branch.
And we bounce, and I love my coworkers, because we bounce ideas off of each other. Be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Or, hey, I saw that this program worked really well for you. Can I use it at my location? Stuff like that. So it's great. We have such creative people on our staff, and I'm just one of many, many, many librarians who have come up with such great programs.
Speaking of programs, go ahead, Jenny. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, they're so creative that I'm like, hey, that idea.
And then, speaking of programs, and the reason our main focus today, or our main point of being here today, is Miss Jenny has got a fantastic plan ahead for honoring and celebrating our veterans.
Yeah, tell us.
And again, we need the help of the community doing this. Go ahead, Jenny.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so last year I really wanted to try and do something for Veterans Day, but me personally, myself, I was not in the right headspace for that, because just last year I lost my father, who was a Vietnam vet, due to Agent Orange.
Oh.
He had multiple myeloma. So obviously I was not in the right headspace last year to do so. This year I was bound and determined to do something for our veterans, whether they live locally here and or family members, and a way, like I said, just a way to honor our veterans. So I got in contact with our local VFW post here in New Springfield, and talked with Commander Hutch. He is the commander, like I said, for the local post 2799. And I met with him and told him my idea of I wanted a way to honor our veterans. So I came up with a program to where I'm looking for photos of a family member's veteran, obviously with their permission, if they're still around. If not, is for them to bring in a photo of their veteran. I will copy it because I don't want to be responsible for the original and anything happening to it. So I will copy that photo. I'll just need a person's name and then when they served. So like for my dad, I have, his name, and then he was in Vietnam. If you want to provide me with any more information, great. If not, no big deal. So what I'm going to be doing with those pictures is I'm going to be creating an honor wall. So kind of like a veterans wall here at my location, and they will be put up on the wall there as a dedication to our veterans. I'm also working with the commander, and we're going to be having a different display of now whether they're real medals, which, oh, wow, if they are, or they're pictures of the various medals that can be awarded to our men and women who have served, whether it's, the Purple Heart or, things like of that nature. He's going to be providing me with that as well. And we're also going to be having a missing man table as a way to really honor our veterans. And that's going to be, the wall is going to be up from November 1st through Veterans Day, so November 11th. And then to coincide with those, actually, on November 8th, which is a Wednesday from 10 to 12, the commander is coming in with a few other veteran volunteers, and we're basically going to be having a roundtable. People who come can ask questions, learn about, different campaigns, like whether it be like Iraq or Afghanistan, that sort of thing, just different viewpoints of that. Sorry, I just did sign language there. Sorry, I was trying to think of a word.
So what word, wait a minute, what word did
I was trying to perspective or viewpoint.
Okay.
So it was perspective, viewpoint. I'll do that occasionally. Drives my husband nuts.
That is
sign?
wonderful. I love that.
I'm sorry. Does he sign? Does he?
No. So
it's a secret language. No.
Yeah. So, but that's how I help myself if I'm trying to think of a word. But like I said, the different viewpoints, perspectives of the various campaigns. Again, that's November 8th from 10 to noon. And then on November 9th from 4 to 5, we're having a youth program where the commander and a couple veterans from the post are going to be coming in, and we're going to learn again about some different campaigns. But we're also going to talk about why we celebrate Veterans Day on November 11th. What's the importance of that date? And then we're also going to be talking about flag etiquette, what to do with the flag, how, and they're actually going to show like how to fold the flag and what to do with the flag if there's a hole or if, things like that. But again, that's from 4 to 5 on November 9th. So I'm really excited. I've been sharing it all on the Facebook pages around here. I've gotten a very good response from the community. In fact, I even have a whole folder dedicated so far just for those who've brought in their photos.
Yeah, you're showing a folder for listeners of.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I have, like I said, I have a folder here that is filled with probably close to, I've got about 20 photos or so. So obviously I need a lot more. But these are just the ones that I've printed off. I haven't printed off everything yet. So like I said, you can bring
Wonderful.
me your photo. I will photocopy it for you. If it's easier, if you have a photo, you can just email it to us at springfield@libraryvisit.org. And my staff will print it off. Like I said, I just need the person's name and when they served is fine. You know, if you want
That's
to tell me
wonderful.
what branch they were in, were they, you know, Marine, were they Army, Navy, you know, whatever you're willing to share, that's great, because then I'm going to be making, to go along with the picture, special name, not like a plate, but, you know, making it kind of fancy, as like I said, as a way to honor
Wonderful.
those. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping it takes off. Again, this is just the first year for it. But I'm hoping to continue that partnership with the VFW post and the commander. You know, whether I can help get him in, you know, get the VFW into the schools, or coming back out here for other types of programs here within the library. I mean, it's boundless. It's limitless as to what we can do together. So I'm really excited with this partnership.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely wonderful. And sounds like you're getting a good response already from the
Yes,
show.
yes. I've had a lot of questions already on social media, you know, well, where can we bring them? And I'm like,
Right here.
it says right there.
That's
But
right.
yeah, bring it into Springfield Library, email it to me. And I've
Like
gotten a
it's
lot
a
of
library
positive.
event.
Yeah,
Read
yeah.
the
And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it as well. So that, you know, again, is showing me that, you know, we are doing and connecting with our communities in various ways. So
That's
very
wonderful.
excited. So
Yeah, as you should be. That's
fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And what other events do you have coming up?
Oh,
I'm
Louis.
looking at a list
Oh,
of
Louis.
I've got them all here.
I have all
Sent me a
kinds of
list. I've
stuff.
got them in the happenings.
Oh yeah, it's not
So do
just
tell,
not
Jenny.
everywhere
Do
else.
tell.
It's yeah. No, I have a lot of fun programs coming up. I have we have a festive tote bag crafting program coming up October 25th and 26th. They're at different times. Basically, you take a fabric bag and fabric pens and stencils, and you can create to your heart's content, whether that be for Halloween or whether it be for Christmas time, to help you carry all those presents that you're, you know, going to be getting for everyone. And then I have a Halloween program for the little ones. I call it the pumpkin parade, where the kids get to come dressed as in costume, and we'll do stories and songs and stuff like that. And I'll have a craft for them. This time we're actually painting little gourds. So we'll see how that works.
Wow,
I don't know.
That'd be fun for them, right?
This is, yeah, my one staff was like, we need to do pumpkins. And I'm like, okay. So I got the little gourds. So, and she's working that day.
That's
So
going to be an interesting
gets
cleanup, right?
yes, she gets to help with that. So
And remind me, Miss Jenny, when's the pumpkin parade?
that one's October 28th at 11. And I know I'm, you know, and that's, you know, I'm going to be fighting. There's a lot of stuff going on around here. In fact, across the street at Hollowed Grounds, she's having a big, huge thing over there too. So I told her, I said, send some over my way and then I'll send them over to you, you know. So there's just a lot going on around here on that day as well. So, but I'm really hoping.
Do participants need to register, Miss Jenny, or should I can just show up?
Just come on in and we're going to have some fun. Awesome. And we're going to have some little spooky stories for the little ones and some songs and things like that. And then they'll get to parade around the library. I'll have different stations around the location. I mean, granted, my location isn't that big, but there are going to be different stations around that the kids will get a little treat, quote unquote.
That's wonderful.
And they can take home with them along with their craft and their pumpkin and things like that. So it's just something fun, you know, here inside where it's not cold, you know, and they can have some fun. Yeah. So yeah. I've done this before and it's been pretty well. We've had a lot of fun with it. So the kids seem to like it because they get to come dressed in costume. So and then Miss Jenny will be in costume too.
No, and
I don't know.
Cool,
yeah,
Miss
you're
Jenny.
gonna be in costume?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Louis, do you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, I'll go. If you go,
I'll go. What would your costume be?
Well, when number of years ago, when I don't want to say when I had to go, but when I went to a Halloween costume party, I put on a suit and tie and pulled my hair back. So
Now I wouldn't recognize you.
Louis being all spiffy. I'd love
well,
it.
yeah, it was, well, it's,
That'd
not
be
usual
great.
garb, so it wasn't a library shirt and a pair of jeans. I don't know how about you, Jeff? What would you? I'd come up.
I'll go as Louis Be Free.
Oh yeah, and I could go as. Oh, I can't dress as dapper as Jeff. I don't know how often you see Jeff, Jenny, but I'll tell you, last week? I'm always when I go down to the lobby to bring him up to the studio. I'm always like, wonder what he's wearing. He's got these wild grapefruits. No, you always match. I'm serious. Last week, and I've got a couple of pictures of. He had these shoes and these shoes that had like little spikes on them, all different. I mean, he's so creative and always so dapper. It's like I'm saying, Jeff, and I mean this high compliment with the library shirt, but I don't usually see you with a t-shirt on.
Yeah, that's not my normal garb, right?
That's right. Halloween.
I'm underdressed today, Louis.
He's underdressed.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so
I'll go as you.
Yeah, hey, come on out.
Jeff, you might have to loan me the clothes though. I don't have that dapper.
What's for you, Louis, anything.
So yeah, so come on out. Yeah, it's usually a lot of fun. The kids have a good time. And like I said, I've done it in the past and it's been pretty well received. So I thought it's something fun, something different,
And for our listeners that have never been, again, love all our branches, but Springfield's so unique and such a cool branch, Louis, you've never been. It's a small library. Again, it would make a really cool house. But again, Jenny, remind us where you're located.
So I'm literally located in the heart of New Middletown. We're right off of Main Street.
170, right?
Right off of 170.
So it's easy if you're coming.
Yeah.
Give me
straight from Poland. Yep.
Yeah. It's straight out. It's not far if you're coming, go down, depending. I don't want to give all the different ways from Poland. If you're coming down Western Reserve, you hit 170, turn right. It's a couple miles, right?
Oh yeah. We're not far from there at all. And if it helps too, we're right across the street, kind of catty corner. If you know where the Ace Hardware is, you'll find me.
Right. That's right.
So that's where. So I'm between Ace and Tigers. Boom, right across the street. Yeah. So and again, these are just the upcoming ones. We just started book clubs out here. I have adult and teen, both.
Right.
Again, listening to what the patrons want. The adults wanted a book club. So I said, all right, I put it on the books. I need you to come. They're like, we will be there. And sure enough, these ladies have been coming religiously every month. So
so no men come to the adult book club?
No, I need guys.
Yeah.
But they're not coming. They just send their wives, I guess. I don't know, or girlfriends, and they're like, yeah, whatever. But it's just, it's just one of those things. But do you like to play cards, Louis?
I haven't played cards in decades.
Well, you're gonna have to come out because I have a card club that we meet once a month. And we play all different kinds of things. So
such as
this one game that I never knew about is called King's Corners.
Jeff, do you know that?
I'm not familiar. Educate us, Jenny.
Yeah, so I guess it's similar to solitaire, but it's not. It's like totally different. So you deal out your 7 cards or whatever to however many people are playing, and then you flip over 4 cards.
Okay.
Well, then, and it's just like solitaire. So like if you have, say, like a black 9, then your next one would be the red 8, so on and so forth. Well, instead of setting your kings up like how you would at the top, you put them in the corners, and then you build off of that from there, and you take turns trying to set these out. So ultimately the goal is to get rid of all the cards in your hand, right? So this is something that was taught to me just because of this card club, and it's been really fun. We've played Uno, we've done, gin rummy, we've done, all kinds of stuff. I'm still waiting for people to come and teach me how to play euchre. I
Yeah,
haven't
I've
figured
heard
out
of it.
euchre.
Yeah. I've heard of it. Yeah. I just don't.
I know, I don't
I
either.
remember gin rum. I just
Yeah. So it just depends
everybody.
on who
Yeah.
comes and, things like that. So we,
Would
we
never,
have a lot of fun.
I would never sit down with people to play for money, because that would, whatever little I had would be gone like in the first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah,
idea of
no.
poker face, I'd get like, I don't know what in poker, a couple of eight, and I'd be,
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't sit there and be like, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm too
Too
expressive.
excitable. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't, no, I can't do that.
Sounds like
So
fun though. Sounds like a lot
yeah,
of
it's a lot of fun. It's just some laid back kind of activity for the adults. But then I am having an OSU versus that Team Up North program, pregame fun program, on November 25th from 11 to noon. So right before the game, we're gonna get prepped for that game. So
Okay, I'm gonna expose my ignorance. Team up
sorry. Yeah, the Team Up
north
North is
is,
Michigan.
oh, that big rock. Oh,
Yeah, the big
yeah.
rivalry, OSU versus
I'm
Michigan.
yeah,
Mhm.
yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so
No, I should be really embarrassed, and I am. So
no, you're
No,
fine.
you shouldn't
No,
be.
no,
No.
that's fine because and the big running joke here, Louis, is with this on Ohio State campus, the whole week leading up to the Ohio State Michigan game, every single letter M is X'd out on Ohio State University's campus. So like for campus, the M is X'd out.
really,
Mm-hmm. They
wonder what they do.
literally have people going around that huge campus to X out the M's all across campus. So
Wow.
I wanted to be funny, and in my program description and title, I wanted to put, instead of the letter M, I wanted to put the letter X as to be haha funny.
Yeah.
But I couldn't.
No.
I had to be fair, and I had to put
Oh,
Ohio
yeah.
State in Michigan. So
You
I
know,
mean,
that's interesting. I again, I'm not a sports,
yeah,
guy, but I'm aware of that. When
yeah.
you said it, it reminds me, I had a guy on from a company, Buckeye Vodka, and
Mm,
on their page it always says "not sold in Michigan."
mhm.
It's funny. And I didn't get it at first. I said, "Is it
That's why.
laws? Is this something with the?" And he's like, "Louis, Ohio State, Michigan," and I'm like, "Yeah." He explained it to me. So, oh, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what they do in Michigan.
I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
researched
Yeah,
that
I would have
with
to.
the
Yeah,
O.
I would.
You can't eliminate an O.
No,
Okay,
there's too
so we'll
many
move
O's.
on. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but
I'm
that's
going to
no.
obsess about that.
Yeah. So that's November 25th from 11 to noon. So yeah, we plan on having a lot of fun, just to a way to get hyped up for the game and things like that. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting. I'll bring my big Ohio State Brutus Buckeye cutout thingy, and I'll bring that, and we're just going to be having just a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see. It's making my husband happy. I don't know though if he'll part with the one Brutus Buckeye cutout though. That one might have to stay home and be ready for the game. So
Can't be on loan to the library and then bring it home.
well,
Okay.
well, the one, yes. The other one is a little iffy. That one's his
That's his thing. Yeah.
Yes, that one may not be allowed to leave. The other one, yes. The one, no. So I might, yeah. We'll
Brutus
see.
I could dress up in a Brutus Buckeye, is that what you said? Costume, and go see them while you have it at the library.
Come on.
Probably wouldn't be the same.
Ah!
That's Brutus Buckeye.
But
I
yeah,
never
so we
got
plan on
lost.
having a lot of fun with it. So
Yeah. I being very unprofessional. I see. Do we want to talk? We don't really have time to talk about American Sign Language this morning.
Can we fit it in a little bit in, Louis?
I have
No,
time.
once
I
again,
just want to be
we're
respectful.
just really
Oh,
special to have Miss Jenny with us and everything. That once again, Miss Jenny, the American Sign Language and what you do, and just tell us a little bit about that and how someone might want to get involved. But it's fascinating.
yeah. So as I said, my background is deaf education. I worked at the Ohio School for the Deaf for over 10 and a half years. I was also a contract interpreter through the Youngstown Hearing and Speech Center. So I did a lot of that for a few years. So I've been pretty connected. Over the years, I've had an ASL club that I've been running. Actually, this is crazy. This is the 8th year for it. So I'm like, what?
Man.
In fact, I just had ASL club last night, and we had 11 people in attendance. I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 kids, and I had a few older folks here, and I actually had someone who was deaf or hard of hearing bring their child so that they could continue learning sign as well. So the purpose of it is obviously just awareness, bringing equality and diversity to our organization. So, it's just a way to bring forth and bring light to this captivating and it's the 4th most used language here in America, which is
Wow.
crazy. You would think that it wouldn't be, but it's the fourth most used language, and stuff like that. And so just trying to bring light to that, so people can come in at any skill level. You could be know nothing to coming in and practicing and things like that. And usually the clubs are themed. But if you are interested in learning even beyond what I'm doing, again, mine's just exposure to deaf culture, deaf history, and the language itself. You can always reach out to the Community Center for the Deaf in Easter Seals. I know that they offer ASL classes that goes a lot more in depth than what I would do. But I also do have a resource sheet, which I sent to Jeff,
I'll
which you
post
got,
that. Yeah.
that shows different,
Great.
trusted websites and YouTube
Thank you.
videos and apps that would be beneficial for you to use in order to
Jenny, I'm
expand.
going to interrupt you. Forgive me. When you say trusted, that again harkens to the libraries. I've always said, if with the news, with whatever,
Mhm.
you need to find a good source, because there's just
Mhm.
so much misinformation,
Mhm.
information.
Yes.
I'm not going to go any further, but it's, and how do you know? I mean, if someone
Right.
like myself wanted to learn with one of the apps or one of the sites that you have listed on the sheet, then I know this is the real stuff. Otherwise, I'm like, okay, so what do I search exactly, and who's good? And by that time, by the time I get done vetting them all, it'll probably be too late for me.
Right.
So years
Yeah.
to figure it
Yeah.
out, right?
So
Jeff?
yeah, I've vetted all of these sites, and I've vetted the apps, because I'm not going to recommend something if I've not looked at it or if I've not used it.
Good.
So I've actually downloaded these apps.
Excellent.
I've used them.
And they're good.
Yeah, just to
Obvious.
and you're looking at the reviews and looking at who's created them and things like that, because like you said, I don't want to give, because there's the YouTube videos out there that we have people, oh, I'm going to teach you how to say this, and it's like,
not really. Okay, I've got a quick question. I know you've got a split. Someone sent this to me recently, and I will post it for listeners. I will post it, and it said something every child should be taught, and it's like four fingers up, help, and then the thumb in, pull down, me. Is that accurate? It was what I'm doing. Does that help me? Yeah.
Well, that's it's technically not sign language, because this is just like a code.
Oh, okay.
It's more like a code.
Okay.
For someone to use if they're in a situation where it's just not safe.
Yeah, and you can't say. I
Right,
got it.
and you can't voice what
I
you need
just
to
thought that was
voice.
great. If that's, and
Mhm.
it says something every child should be taught, and every parent should know.
Yeah, so
Everybody
then,
should know.
and
If you see the
even, you
kid doing
know,
it.
women or men or things like that, that you know, it's really ageless. But if you can't say anything, if you can't voice anything, that's the symbol. So that's not really signing, but
I see. Thank you for
it's a
that.
hand motion, hand
But
gesture.
it's so cool, Miss Jenny. And then chime in here where I'm out at the library, and again, I see babies, and babies tell me about babies that once again they even understand.
Mhm,
They're talking. They're
mhm.
signing
Wow.
before they even talk.
Yeah.
They
So
understand.
Wow. Check
yeah, the
this out.
biggest, yeah. So the biggest misconception is, you know, if you were to teach your baby sign language, you know, I taught my kids sign, and my son was probably starting to use sign. He was probably about 9 months old is when he really started to form the signs. The biggest misconception is that, you know, you're teaching your child sign, that they're not going to talk, that they're not going to, you know, do this or do
Oh,
that. But there is research out there that says if your baby has some form of language, aka sign language, they're actually gonna probably talk sooner. Because think about it, Louis. So like you have a 1.5-year-old who is like having a total temper tantrum, right? The terrible twos. Think about it. They can't make what's needed to make that sound. Like they don't have the muscle control to form that sound, aka then that word, right? So if you're showing them how to say help or milk, or sorry, I'm signing as I'm doing this, radio
okay.
listeners, you know, the sign for milk or the sign for help or more, or I need this, or, you know, that sort of thing. If they can't say that word, but they can show you via signing, imagine how much less that child's going to be frustrated.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Right?
yeah.
So you've taken out that part of the frustration, because they're trying to tell you what they want, but they can't say it. But by
Wonderful.
signing it, then that's giving time for them to be able to have the muscle memories needed in order to formulate those sounds and words.
That's brilliant. I
So
love
Yeah.
once
that.
again,
When are
So
your class?
let me tell you, it took out the terrible twos and it took out the terrible threes. Let me tell you.
When are your classes?
They're usually once a month. It's usually the third Wednesday of every month. Unfortunately, in November, it's not, because we have staff day on November 15th. So I won't be meeting again until December,
December.
I think it's like the 20th or something like that.
Okay.
My
All right.
dates
Well,
get all
you get it.
confused,
Yeah,
Louis.
that's okay. You got time to get it posted up. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
You are
so,
such a bright light,
oh,
Jen.
thank
You
you.
really are. I love this. I love
and
talking.
again, a final shout out again for our veterans. And
Yes.
Miss Jenny, one
Yes.
last plug before we part ways.
Yeah,
Tell me
so please,
about veterans,
please.
what we want.
Yes, I'm looking for your veterans pictures. Please bring them into the Springfield Library. If all you have is the original, we will copy it for you. And I would just need their name and when they served. That's really all I'm looking for. Like I said, I'm looking for a way to honor our veterans, whether still locally here, or if, you know, your family member has passed on like mine. Like I said, this was a big motivator for me because of my dad. My dad's always inspired me to go and shoot for the stars. So if this is a way that I can give back to our
Yeah.
veterans,
That's
I mean,
beautiful.
I know it doesn't sound like much, but to
It
me,
is. It
it's a
is.
lot.
It's a
It is
lot.
So,
a lot.
It's a big
It is
time,
a
a
lot.
lot.
And to
so
those
yeah.
veterans and their family, it is a lot.
Yeah,
May not,
there's
yeah,
nothing
not like a
more
lot of people.
special than our veterans.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
I
that's
agree.
my ultimate goal, and my plan is to keep this going every year. And so yeah, so I again, you can bring them in to me here. If I'm not here, my wonderful staff will take them, and we will photocopy them, and
Yeah.
or you can email them to us at springfield@libraryvisit.org.
That's wonderful. That's
And that'll
wonderful.
be from November 1st through November 11th. They'll
Love
be up
doing
on
the
the wall.
love doing the gig with you again. And my
Oh
friend
yeah.
Samuel, as always. More information at libraryvisit.org,
And Miss Jenny,
libraryvisit.org.
then so we're parting ways with Louis. How do we sign that we love Louis?
Oh,
I
Love
love
you,
you.
Louis.
Yep.
That's, I thought that was something they do at
Mm-mm.
concerts. No?
No, so they do this.
Oh, okay. What
The
do I
hook 'em
know?
horns.
So
But
this
yeah,
is-
so
Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Love
will
is
be there at a
what?
metal concert doing
So let's do it, Louis. Love
This
is
is
what?
the
We're like this.
yeah, so this is the I, this is the L for love, and then this is the Y for you. So I love
Oh,
you.
so it's the thumb out and
Mhm.
okay, I got it.
Yep, your pinky
that.
and your index finger are up just like that.
Well, I love you
See, I
guys.
told you, Louis, you learn something new every day by coming
Yeah,
to the
I
live.
loved it. Yeah, this instead of doing the heart all the time that people do, and you need two hands for that anyway. So, right,
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, as always, thank you both. I love my
Thank
life.
you, Louis.
you.
You
Take
will
care,
too.
Louis. It was
Thank
great
you.
to see
Thanks,
you.
Miss Jenny.
Great seeing
Thanks,
you too.
Jeff.
It's
Have a good day.
libraryvisit.org for more information. Again, it's libraryvisit.org. I've got a few more comments.